I just found out last week where I will be heading next year. I don't think I want to settle in London, that's for sure. I find it a little bit forced and inorganic. Are you dating at the moment? Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Emma here, and I'm finally filming my Q&A video. I know I've been promising this for literally months. I asked you guys to submit questions on my Instagram, not once, but twice, and I still didn't get around to filming this video. It's been really hectic at the minute, trying to find time to sit down and chat with you guys. But I've had literally, I think this is my first chill weekend since moving to London. And when I say that, I mean the first weekend where I have not ran into central London and tubed around, I think, since I've moved here. Like, this is my first weekend where both on the Saturday and the Sunday I have just stayed at home. And I don't think I've done that at all since I've been here. But better late than never, that's what I say, right? So I hope you guys can just bear with and appreciate that I've been really busy. And I have been doing a lot of vlogs lately, more than the sit down videos, so it is quite nice to get back to sitting down and chatting. Sorry, I've just glimpsed to the side because I have written your questions out in my notebook, and as ever I've blocked them out based on like category titles, just to make it easier to follow the video, so you can skip to each section if you're more interested in a certain part of my life. But I do recommend sitting and watching all the way through. But I guess, yeah, I'll put the timestamps in the description so you can kind of follow along where I'll be talking about certain topics. The 4 topics are jobs, lifestyle, travel and dating, because they were the most asked questions on my Instagram both times that I asked you guys to submit questions, and I have used a mixture of questions from both times I asked you to submit, so hopefully I'll cover as much as you guys wanted to know. And with that said, let's get started. So the first question about my job is, how is your grad scheme going, or how are you finding your job? Do you plan on staying in your role? And this is really interesting actually, and really topical, because as you guys know, I am on a rotational grad scheme, which is 2 years long, and it means I start in one role. After a year I then move into another role that has to be in a completely different part of the business. So it's a business graduate scheme where I'm meant to gain exposure to lots of different functions in business and learn about business in general. I have said the word business too many times in that sentence. And I just found out last week where I will be heading next year, and the role I'm currently in is very analytical and financial, and it involves a lot of negotiation and communication as well, and a lot of creative aspects. But in my review with my graduate program coordinators, I did say I wanted something a little bit more creative and maybe a little bit more people focused. Obviously my degree was in English, so I said I would like to get back to maybe something more writing based, because at the minute it's very numbers heavy. Not like, you know, you don't have to be Einstein to do my job, but yeah, a lot of spreadsheets and a lot of looking at data, but very like common sense, and I've been able to pick it up quite easily with some good teaching from my manager and the rest of my teams. That said, I did find out last week that I will be moving into a communications role. I don't know what that entails yet, because it did say role to be confirmed, project to be confirmed, so it still hasn't been decided. But I do know that I will be moving in September into a more communications focused role, which I'm really excited about, because I think I've loved my first year here. I really have. I could maybe see myself coming back to it, or back to it from a different angle, like branding or marketing or product development, but I've still really enjoyed it, found it really insightful. And if you'd asked, you know, would I go back in time and change the role I'm in if I could, I'd definitely say no, because I've learned so much this year. I've interacted with so many different people from so many different parts of the business. I feel like the role I'm in now is definitely at the heart of my business, because I'm in retail, so it is all about the product and buying the product. And yeah, I think it's just been so insightful. I've learned so much, and my team were just brilliant. I'm really gonna miss them. But yes, excited for my new adventure in communications that will be starting in September. The next question just says work-life balance, which I imagine you're asking, how have I found the work-life balance, or how do I manage my work-life balance? And I think it's actually come quite naturally to me, because as I've said, my time at university, you guys all know by now, I studied at Cambridge and it was very intense and very stressful, and it was all work, no life pretty much. I was part of some societies, but I did work a lot. I spent a lot of time in the library, a lot of time writing essays, a lot of time stressing and revising, and I would say that having that set 9 to 5 has really helped with the work-life balance. Having my weekends to myself, it's just, it's brilliant. It's why I love work so much. And even though I say set 9 to 5, I think with this new hybrid working world of half in office, half at home again, you know, coming out of COVID, a lot of the world has moved in that direction and is staying in that sort of place as well, has really helped having a good work-life balance. I think being permanently remote for parts of my career, like through the pandemic where we couldn't go into the office, or in my last job where it was just remote, it was maybe a little bit harder to get that work-life balance because you don't have a set cut-off point, because it's not like you're like, right, I'm packing my things up, everybody else is leaving at 5, I'll leave too. When you're sat at home at your desk, it can be really hard to switch off. So I'm very, very disciplined with myself that when I get to 5, unless there is something I absolutely need to do or the world will implode, I will shut my laptop lid. It's not that important. It can be seen to tomorrow morning. And I do actually think that I don't strictly work within the 9 to 5 all the time, because I'm an early riser. I tend to get up about 6:30 a.m. most days, or wake up naturally at that time. And if I'm working from home, I'd rather just get cracking at 7:30. If I'm up and ready to go, I'm not commuting into the office, I will just start early and get ahead of things. But then it does mean I can leave earlier because my work are quite flexible with me, and you know, they treat me like an adult and understand I will get things done when I get them done. I can work to my own schedule as long as I'm doing the hours I'm contracted to do and getting the work done. People really don't mind, and they're not constantly checking up on me like, where were you when I tried to ring you? Why didn't you respond when I messaged straight away? Like, everybody is so respectful and understanding, and unless it's super urgent, like, again, most people can wait for a response. If it's that urgent, they will ring me or drop me an email or something. So yeah, I'm actually finding the work-life balance really, really manageable and really healthy, which is great. And I recommend any of you who are about to graduate, like, going into work with that mindset of, you know, you set your own boundaries, and when it's getting too much, also don't be afraid to speak up, because there was a period at work where I was really, really stressed and had a lot of things going on at once. And it wasn't just me, it was my whole team, kind of the whole business really had a lot going on. And we spoke up to our managers and we submitted our feedback in a business-wide survey, and they listened, and they've put in things like well-being hour at lunch where you've got to log off, or well-being walks where, you know, people are actually getting up and moving away from their desks. And when you see everybody else doing that, it's kind of, you know, incentive for you to get up and go too, because why would you sit at your desk alone working when you can see everybody else is leaving? Like, there is no guilt or stigma for staying and working at your desk, or getting up. Like, you know, you don't feel like, oh, I should be at my desk, I shouldn't be standing chatting while I'm making a coffee now. So yeah, just being open and honest as well to make sure you have that good work-life balance. Oh, sorry, there's a bug outside and I thought it was inside. The next question is, where in life would you like to be in 5 or 10 years time? And funnily enough, I actually filmed another video this morning about, you know, things I wish I knew before I graduated, so check that out. I imagine that video will go up before this one, so check that out if you haven't seen it already. But I was kind of saying to myself and to you guys that it's alright not to have a 5 to 10 year plan, and I don't really have a 5 to 10 year plan. If you ask me where I see myself in the future, I just see myself being happy. That's all I want. I know that's so cheesy and cliche, but I think at the minute I'm still so young. I've only had 2 jobs, been out of university for 2 years, still don't feel like I've found my calling in life or my dream career, not sure I ever will. But as long as I find something that makes me happy, that gets me out of bed in the morning, that gives me the work-life balance I want and brings me joy, then I really don't mind what I'm doing. And if it takes a good few years to muddle along and find that, then fine. Like, I'm in no race to get to my dream career already. In a way, I'm kind of enjoying the journey of just trying new things, and that whole trial and error process of I don't know what I'm doing and I'm just, you know, saying, can I have a go at that? That looks fun. Or, ooh, I like the look of her role. Can I try that next year? Or, oh, can I be part of that project? That sounds really fun. And, you know, unless you speak up, you're not going to get these opportunities. So I think just being very observant at work and looking for chances or opportunities that I think I would really enjoy, or, you know, opportunities to challenge myself and try something new that I wouldn't normally see as being in my skill set or something I'd be comfortable doing. Also trying to grab those moments too, not just stick in my comfort zone. So yeah, no real 5 to 10 year plan. I don't even know where I want to settle, where I want to be. I don't think I want to settle in London, that's for sure. I think it's a great place to be, maybe for the next 2, 3, 4, even 5 years while I'm young, to meet people, to, you know, the transport's brilliant, I can get around so easily, there's so much to see. But I think when I get to that time in my life where I do want to settle down or start a family, which is a long way off, but when I get there, I don't think London's where I want to be. It's just, the hustle and bustle is very, very fast paced, which is great when you're young, but I think later on in life I might just want a little bit more peace and quiet. But again, also, I would kind of like to travel with my career if that's possible, and if that's something I still want in the next few years, I will definitely seek to pursue it. At the minute, I'm enjoying being in London, and I just want to get to the end of my grad scheme first. That's like my next checkpoint, and then after that, I'll probably do some sitting down and reevaluating what I want to do. But for now, I'm just working towards the end of this 2-year scheme, and then who knows after that, and that's fine. It's fine to not know. And the final question in the jobs section kind of isn't really a job question, but are you planning to do any further study? And I'll be honest, around Christmas time when I was having my job crisis and I was really stressed, I was like, is the working world for me? Do I miss my degree? Do I miss academia? Do I want to go back to English literature? And I really strongly considered it. I looked on the Cambridge website and they've brought out a new English literature master's course, MPhil course, and it's a lot more up my street than the current one or the previous one, which was based on time periods and chronology, and I was never really drawn to a specific time period. I was always just drawn like to poetry and poetics and things, and this new course would have allowed me to study that. So I was like, oh, I want to go back to university, and I really started looking into the application process, researching what I might do, and then I got through my tough period at work and was like, nah, I was just having a life crisis, I'm enjoying work a lot, it was just a tough period, and I don't think I do want to go back to university. And I think I'll probably have a lot of moments in my life where I'm like up and down and think, do I want to go back? Nah, like, am I having a tough time? Or like, I don't know. At the minute, the answer's no, and it's quite a strong no. I don't see myself going back to university, at least not right now or in the near future, because I'm loving work so much and trying new things and being experimental in my career and having that free time, as I've said, and earning that money is pretty great. Like, I don't know if I want to go back to university and get in more debt for something that won't necessarily further my career, because I think I'd want to go back and do a master's in English, but I don't think I'd want to stay in a career in English, so I'm not really sure it would add too much other than like enjoyment factor and doing it because I love learning and I miss reading and I miss writing essays and I miss university. I think if I decided to career switch and maybe go into something more communications, media, journalism, publishing, maybe that route, then I might think, oh, I want to go back and do a master's to get my head in that headspace of writing again, of thinking about texts. Or if I wanted to go into teaching and do a PGCE, I might go back to university, or I might do a master's in English first just to get back again in that headspace and then do my PGCE. But for now, I'm very happy in my career in business and moving in that direction of communications, my open doors into media and communications. So as I've said, I'm just seeing how things go and playing it by ear, and that's cool. That's just how we move. So the next questions are about my life and my lifestyle. The first question is, any plans for buying a car? I actually get asked this quite a lot by family and friends, and the answer is no, and it's a hard no because, well, one, I hate driving. I learned to drive when I was still in secondary school. I passed, I think, just after my 18th birthday or just before my 18th birthday. It was around that time I was finishing my A-level exams, and I literally haven't driven a car since I passed my test when I was 18, and I am now, well, I'm turning 23 in the next 2 weeks. What, 1 week? I'm nearly 23, and I haven't driven since I was 18 because I didn't enjoy it, but also I didn't really have the need to, because as soon as I passed, I moved to Cambridge for university, which is a city you can just walk or cycle, so didn't need a car there. And then as soon as I left university, the pandemic hit, so we couldn't even leave our houses. I lived in Cambridge for a bit, still didn't need a car. Moved back in with my parents, definitely didn't need a car because COVID, had nowhere to go, and my parents would kind of just take me everywhere when I needed them to. Thanks to my parents for that one. And then I moved to London, and you can bus, tube, walk around everywhere, so there is just no need for the car. And I think I'm trying to be more environmentally conscious as well, so I think coupled with the whole I don't need a car because transport is so accessible in London, and not needing one and not enjoying driving and trying to be more environmentally conscious, there is just no need for me to get a car. Now the next question, or the next two questions, I got asked a lot, like so many times. I actually think I'll do a separate video on this altogether, and I've already planned it out, so fingers crossed I'll find time to film that because you guys are really interested in it. And the first one is, how did you make friends at university? And the next one is, how did you make friends in a new city, or you know, in the working world? So I'll answer the first question about university, and I've actually answered this in a bit more depth in another video I did, I think, about being at university. I can't remember what it was called, but I'll link it, or you know, leave it in the description or something. But I really struggled with making friends in my first year at university because I was so stressed and felt such bad imposter syndrome, and I just wanted to work all the time and like prove I deserved to be there, and just didn't really take any social opportunities where I should have done. So I did struggle, which is why I've talked a lot about how I made friends. And I think there was a big drinking culture at university as well, and I wasn't a super big drinker when I was at university and didn't really enjoy going out and clubbing. I just wanted to have my early night, to, you know, play board games and and just study hard and do well. Like, I make myself sound like such a nerd, but also like there are so many people like that, and it's fine if you don't enjoy drinking all the time and you just want to have a quiet night in. And it's all just about finding your people, because there are lots of people like you at university, whether you like drinking, whether you like sports, whether you like art, whether you want to sing or be musical or just play board games. There are people like you at university everywhere, because it's so vast and it's such a great environment to be in, because there are just so many people from so many different walks of life, so you're bound to have things in common, and you're all the same age, and you're all thrown into the same environment at the same time. So it's kind of the perfect mix for meeting people like you. And I think my key advice is just find those spaces where you'll meet people like you. So clubs, societies, cafes, Facebook groups, these are all places where you can find people with common interests to do these things with you. Also, you know, do go to the odd house party now and then. Do go to events that your what do you call it, student union put on. Like, it doesn't have to be drinking things, it can be pizza night or coffee and cake in the library. Like, there are so many events that these societies put on, or sports societies as well. I mean, I was never particularly into sports, but whether you're like an Olympic athlete or just want to try a sport for a new time, university's great because it has lots of different tiers of like ability level in these kind of clubs, so you can find your ability level and join that and meet like-minded people. But yeah, I did find going to like the odd house party or pub night was also helpful, and you don't have to drink if you don't want to. They're just really good places to meet people. I think Freshers Week is really pivotal, so try and get out there as soon as you can, and use that as a chance to meet people. But also, you know, that's not your last chance. Don't ever think, you know, everyone's friended up and I've missed my shot and I didn't push myself out as much as I should have done in Freshers Week, because I made my lifelong friends at university in about final term of first year and really cemented those friendships in first term of my second year. So it might just take time. It is a process trying to find people that are like you. Lecture hall, like labs or whatever, like just look for those opportunities. And you know, you've got to push yourself to speak to people. You can't just turn up and expect friendships to form. Like, you've got to put that time and effort in. So once you've met people at these events, why don't you text them and say, I really enjoy getting to know you, do you want to go for a coffee? Or, you know, I'm finding work really stressful at the minute, do you want to go out for pizza tonight? Or do you want to come over and watch a film? Like, it's about, once you've found those people, then what you do with those friendships to maintain them. So that's another really important part about making friends at uni. The next question, obviously, making friends in a new city or at work, it's very different. You don't have those clubs and societies. Fortunately, I'm on a graduate scheme, so there are 50 of us who are all the same age and working at my company, because it's a very large company. So I am lucky that we do have a graduate society that arranges events, which I know is uncommon and a lot of people don't have that in work. But other places I've made friends, I'm in Facebook groups for young people who have just moved to London or have just graduated. Look out for things like that. Going to, I mean, I'm in London, there are events on all the time, like concerts, pub nights, pub quizzes, meetups. I don't know, like if you look on Facebook events or Eventbrite, there are lots of things, and I think even if you just buddy up with one person at work and try and find these events online and go with somebody else, then you can meet other people. I think there are apps for things like this as well. Like, I know Bumble is a dating app, but I'm fairly sure I read online that they have like a friend feature where you're looking for friends. But there are lots of opportunities. It's just about finding them, and I know it is a bit more difficult as an adult, so I kind of want to do a more in-depth video on this to do it justice a little bit more, because I know these are kind of surface level tips and there are things you might already know about. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like a more in-depth video on this question, and I will think about filming that at some point. Now, the next question is, do you have any plans for summer? Great timing asking this question, because it is my birthday in 2 weeks time and I have so many plans coming up for the summer. So this is my final week at work before I go on annual leave for a week. I'm then in Cambridge for the whole week, and boy do I have a really busy week. So Saturday is the May races, which is the rowing races in Cambridge over the summer, so I plan on having a picnic and going to watch those. Sunday I want to meet up with a friend for brunch at a cafe I love called Stir in Cambridge. Monday is Jesus College May Ball. If you don't know what that is, basically the University of Cambridge is split into colleges, and when you finish exams they throw a big ball at the end of the year that goes on from I think about like 8 p.m. till 5 a.m. and it just has food trucks, musical performances, like events, performers, silent discos. Like, there are so many different things going on all night long just to reward you for your hard work. And obviously with COVID, mine was cancelled and I never got to have my ball, so I rolled over my tickets. Then it got cancelled again because COVID was still with us, and it's been rolled over yet another year. So I'm finally getting my post-exams celebration ball 2 years later, but better late than ever. So I've got that on the Monday. Tuesday, going out for dinner for my birthday, like an early dinner meal at a restaurant called Giggling Squid, which is one of my favourite places in Cambridge. If you check out my birthday vlog from last year, I did go there then, but I was actually a little bit queasy because I just had my COVID jab that morning on my birthday, terrible timing, and it made me feel a little bit seasick. So yeah, I didn't fully enjoy the experience because I just kind of wanted to go home and puke, which TMI, but so I want to go back and actually enjoy it this time. Then the Wednesday I'm going to Pembroke May Ball, so you can actually go to other colleges' May Balls if you get tickets, so that was rolled over from 2 years ago. Thursday I'll then be travelling back to my home in London. Friday I'm going to see Ed Sheeran in Wembley. Friday is the actual day of my birthday, and then on the Saturday and Sunday my parents are coming down to visit, and my brother's going to be here as well because he's seeing a concert on our birthday. We're twins, if you didn't know, and we're actually born on my dad's birthday, so it'll be all three of us celebrating our birthdays together that weekend. So very busy summer plans. Gosh, that was, sorry, a long ramble, but that's what I'm doing for my birthday. That's my summer plan. And then my friends and I have just booked a holiday to Denmark in July because our friend Tim is from Denmark, so we've decided to do a big group holiday. I think almost all of us can make it. I think it's just one person can't make it, unfortunately, but I think there'll be 9 of us going to Denmark, so I'm so excited for that. And then after that I get back, and then it's my brother's graduation, so I'm going up to see him graduate literally the day after I land, and then at some point hopefully my graduation, fingers crossed. So very busy summer this year. Next up, I guess that kind of links to my next topic, that last question, but the next topic or theme or category is travel. So the first question is, have you got any travel plans? As I've said, I'm going to Denmark with my university friends, which I'm really looking forward to, but no major travel plans. I don't plan on doing like a gap year or taking an extended period off work to travel. It's just squeezing in holidays as and when I can. I would like to travel a lot, but at the minute I think I'm just focused on my career and there just isn't really the time for it. I would have loved to have travelled after I graduated because I did have like 2 free months where I was waiting for my job to start, but university had finished, but obviously COVID hit and it was just 2 months at home doing nothing, unfortunately. So that was kind of time missed, but I'm hoping at some point in my life I will get that time back and get to travel because I would love still to go to Asia. I haven't seen any of Asia. I'd like to do East Asia and Southeast Asia. I'd like to see places like China, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand. I really want to go to Bali. Like, there are just so many places on my list on that side of the world that I have not seen yet. I've done a lot of Europe, but have not been to the continent of Asia yet, so I'd love to do that at some point. It's just finding the time because it's such a long flight out there that I would want to go for at least 2 weeks to make it worth it, and that's really hard to do when you're a full-time working woman. So we'll see, not in the near future, but hopefully at some point in my life. On the back of that, the next question is, what is your dream holiday destination? I suppose it kind of is all of those places I've just listed in Asia because I've never actually seen them before. I'm not sure I have a dream holiday destination, more just places on my bucket list that I haven't yet seen. I would really like to go to Lake Como or Switzerland or Austria because they're places I haven't visited in Europe. I'd like to see the Northern Lights. There are just a lot of places I haven't been in general that I'd like to go to. I think dream holiday destination in terms of places I already have been, I love Italy. Like, my family holidayed in Italy a lot when I was a child and growing up, so that is really familiar to me. I went to a place called Mount Baldo, which was just, I think, one of my best holiday memories ever. Like, we went up a cable car and the views were just incredible. We stayed in Lake Garda, but we took this as a day trip out. And then we went to like Limone, I think it was called. Like, you're gonna roast my pronunciation in the comments. But I love Italy and I love hot holidays because we never get good weather in the UK, and I am so desperate because I have not been to a hot country or enjoyed hot weather since July 2019 because of COVID, and I don't think I'll be seeing the sun or going abroad to a sunny hot country until 2023. So I mean, I'm hoping Denmark's going to be warm, but I think the weather's closer to the UK, so yeah, dream holiday destination, just get me in the sun, that's what I need. And finally, the last category is dating. A lot of you are really interested to know about my love life. As you know, I am now single and enjoying my independence and enjoying being alone, and, you know, using a lot of time and energy to focus on me and doing the things I love, meeting up with friends, doing things on my own, being comfortable in my own company, learning new hobbies, making more time to read and film videos. But you guys were interested if I am dating or I'm looking for a relationship, or, you know, where I'm at. And yeah, I guess the first question is, are you dating at the moment? And the answer is like yes and no. So I'm not looking for anything. I'm kind of in the mindset, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. My friends did for a moment encourage me to get on dating apps, and I've been on a couple of dates, but I just don't really think it's for me. I think my last relationships, I've been in 2 relationships and they were both forged out of friendship first, and I think I find it easier to fall for someone when I've known them for a long time and know their personality, and it's more gradual and organic. I find it a little bit forced and inorganic on dating apps because you're kind of both going in with that intention of looking for someone, and I find it really hard to find a spark or connection in that way. I find it a bit superficial as well, like just dating someone based off their looks. Like, obviously you need to be attracted to someone, but I think I usually fall for someone's personality first. I know that I find them attractive, but I fall for their personality and then gradually find them more and more attractive physically when I know that I'm invested in who they are as a person. Like, yeah, I find it just, it's not really for me. Maybe Prince Charming is on Hinge somewhere, but I haven't found him yet. So for now, not really dating seriously or looking for anything. I think just focusing on myself, and I'm hoping that when the next person comes along, it will be more natural again, like it has been in the past, and it'll just be, you know, a friend of a friend, or I bumped into them at a university event that I'm going to, like a Mayball, or at a house party, or at work, or just, yeah. And when I'm ready as well, like I definitely don't think I'm in the headspace to be dating right now. Because I'm so invested on focusing on myself, and it's still quite recent, like when I got out of my last relationship, so I don't think I'm ready to fall for someone new again, if you get what I mean. Yeah, just enjoying being alone. And the last question is, any advice for breakups? I have a lot of advice for breakups. Like, having gone through one in the last few months, I think it's really important to communicate with people around you. Make sure you've set up your support networks. When you're feeling low, make sure you've got those key contacts on speed dial. Like, my mum for me was one, my friend Astrid from university, my friend Anastasia, who's my best friend from back home. They were kind of my top 3. Like, if I feel myself getting upset or spiraling, ring them straight away, because they will give me good advice, they will talk sense into me, they will make me feel better. And then, like, 9 times out of 10 I would end that conversation feeling on top of the world, laughing, having the best time ever. I think focusing on yourself as well. Don't focus on the breakup, what went wrong, what you could have done, or it's not you. Like, focus on yourself in terms of hobbies, interests, bettering yourself as a person, making time for yourself, seeing the positives in all this new free time you'll have, and meeting up with work friends, university friends, and doing what you love and working out what you love. Just don't dwell on it, because chances are you'll be looking for answers that you just can't get, and I think the more you question, the more you're just going to upset yourself. So accept that some things you can't answer, some things you can't know. It's happened. It's now about moving forward and what you can do to cope with it, better yourself as a person, get back on your feet, and keep moving forwards. I feel like I could have answered that in a lot more depth, but I do just want to keep it brief, because I think my personal life in like the dating respect is going to stay personal for me. I think because dating involves another person, I kind of don't want to bring that onto my channel and get into too much detail. But I think from a top line level, that's my advice, but I hope that helped in some way. So that was the final question. I hope you've enjoyed this life update Q&A. As I've said, thanks for bearing with me. I know it's taken me a while to film this. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know how you guys are getting on in the comments below. I love hearing what you're up to. And yeah, like, you know, what sort of life stage are you in? Are you just graduating? Are you heading off to university? Are you just starting a new job? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.